must remain conscious of our control over our courts and uphold this responsibility with firmness and prudence.
Justice Kudirat Kekereekun warns judicial officers against actions that could impede fair administration of justice.
Just connect to any network because somebody might just make that network available to lure you in order to have access to your banking code.
Experts emphasize combating cybercrime requires enhanced security measures and widespread public awareness. Senate Committee on the Sports Assessment visit witnesses illegal mining within National Iron Ore Mining Company in Itakwe. Good to have you join us on the news desk at 3 live on NTA News 24. I'm Comfort Modu. President Tinubu directs adequate security for personnel to ensure timely restoration of power supply to northern part of Nigeria. Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, has urged judicial officers to reject actions that could tarnish the image of the judiciary or impede fair administration of justice. The CJN gave the charge in Abuja at the opening of Batch B induction course for newly appointed judicial officers of the Superior Courts of Record. Chikunonso Wabweza reports.
Converged here at the National Judicial Institute, Abuja, for the Stream 2 of the Institute's 2024 induction course for judicial officers of superior courts in the country are the newly appointed judges of the Federal and State High Courts, National Industrial Court, caddies of the Sharia Courts of Appeal, and judges of the Customary Courts of Appeal.
The judiciary serves as the backbone of democracy.
The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, while warning judicial officers regarding the indiscriminate granting of ex parte orders, charged the participants to execute their duties with unwavering integrity and dedication in order to reinforce public confidence in the nation's justice system.
Judicial discretion in the issuance of remand orders must be exercised with careful consideration of the particular circumstances of the case. We must remain conscious of our control over our courts and uphold this responsibility with firmness and prudence.
The correlation between judicial efficiency and capacity building is one that cannot be overemphasized. Hence, following this all-important induction course, we look forward to receiving and recording the participation of your lordship at various training programs tailored to build their capacity in various areas of law and to equally enhance their functionality.
With the theme, repositioning the course for better justice delivery, the induction course is specially designed to indoctrinate his lordships in the peculiarities of the higher bench, as well as to familiarize them with the art and craft of justice delivery pertaining to their new roles. Chukunonso Wabweze, NTA News.
Senate ad hoc committee witnesses illegal mining activities within the premises of the National Iron Ore Mining Company in Itakwe, Kogi State, during an on-the-spot assessment visit. National Assembly correspondent Isa Mohammed reports.
The visit to National Iron Ore Mining Company, Itakwe, a critical component in the development of the country's iron and steel sector, was part of an investigation.
Yeah, our expectation is to see this place producing, so that Nigeria will be counted as one of the steel producing nation.
A heartwarming story from the mining factory is that the plant, when revived, has the capacity to produce raw materials not just for Ajakuta steel production, but also viable for other revenue-generating activities. The committee says National Iron Ore Mining Company, Itakwe, is a quintessential example of how strategic establishment can enhance national development, economic growth, skill development, and technological advancement.
clear to me that given the challenges of Ajaokuta at this point, that this place can actually function whilst Ajaokuta is being put together. And I tell you why I say so. The product of this Niogam is something that the entire steel industry utilizes.
What we should take positively is that the natural resources are still on ground. They have not been destroyed. So that means all we need to do as a country is put our heads together, put our acts together, and intentionally begin to resuscitate and revive the steel industry.
An unexpected aspect of the tour was the committee's citing of illegal mining activities in the forest within the grounds of the mining company, as the absence of perimeter fencing makes it easy for trespassing. The National Iron Ore Mining Company, Itakpe, was established as an offshoot of the mining division of the defunct Nigerian Steel Development Authority during the second and the third national development plans between 1970 to 1980. The plant has the nominal capacity at 2.15 million tons per year, concentrates with iron content of 64 to 67% required to feed Ajaokuta steel production, and expanded as production demand increases. From the National Iron Ore Mining Company, Itakpe, in Kogi State, Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
The Office of the National Security Advisor has convened a meeting of stakeholders to strengthen the country's ability to protect its digital infrastructure from emerging threats. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports of this digital technology has heightened the vulnerability of digital assets in the country.
Nigeria's digital infrastructure faces a range of cyber threats and attacks. Aside from threats to private computers and mobile devices, telecommunication and banking networks are also subject of large-scale attacks.
As our adoption of technology is increasing across the country, so is the increase in cyber threats. Consequently, we have strengthened our resolve to effectively confront these threats. This workshop provides the platform for us to jointly develop the roadmap for the implementation of the initiatives spelled out in the executive order.
In 2023, more than 14 billion naira was lost to breaches to digital infrastructure.
These are only figures reported to the NCC. These figures illustrate not only a direct financial burden, but also an extensive impact on our services, economy, and national security.
In addition to bolstering cyber resilience, the forum is focused on strengthening stakeholders' ability to physically protect critical infrastructure.
The armed forces are committed to take the challenge and work with the Office of the National Security Advisor on whatever resolution is being reached and whatever strategies have been developed to work hand in hand to make sure that we protect this infrastructure.
It is Mr. President's strategy, policy, and determination to improve the power sector, because that's what all these things sit on. It is a necessary prerequisite.
Have you ever received an urgent request for a friend, colleague, or relative asking for financial assistance? While it might seem genuine, cybercrime experts, however, warn that taking a moment to verify could protect you from becoming a victim of cyber criminals. And good morning, Nigeria. The experts emphasize that combating cybercrime in Nigeria requires not only enhanced security measures, but also widespread public awareness. Lydia Sampson reports.
Being cyber aware is crucial to navigating the enormous opportunity provided online through the internet. These experts says will also arm vulnerable internet users to identify risk factors and suspicious unsolicited messages from cyber criminals.
So for you to be a cyber expert or cyber investigator, you must have acquired the skills, that will enable you to navigate in your investigations.
Don't just connect to any network, because somebody might just make that network available to lure you in order to have access to your banking codes and all. Some people even know the dangers involved and they still go ahead and do it.
Parents must also educate their children who use internet for educational purposes to be aware of the risk factors and not chatting with unknown persons or providing personal or family details.
You tell your children, be careful when crossing the road. You tell them, if you go somewhere and you see trouble coming, you move,
try to avoid it.
So you have to also empower them, because at the end of the day, whatever your child does, especially for a man, for example, they bear your name.
Developing a dynamic ecosystem for everyone to take responsibility to make the cyberspace secure for all users, the guests say, must be prioritized. They suggested having a societal conversation to figure out how social media can be monitored, drawing boundaries. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Military religious institutions must try to promote mental resilience and emotional well-being among troops to help soldiers cope with the stresses of combat and military life. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, made this known in a message to participants of the Directorate of Islamic Affairs Nigerian Army Annual Training Conference at the Army Headquarters Officers' Mess here in Abuja. Correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
While the toll day and night performing their constitutional responsibility of defending the nation's territorial integrity, the Nigerian Army, led by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, cater for the well-being of personnel for optimal performance in the discharge of their duties. This time around, the Directorate of Islamic Affairs is charting a new course by imparting Quranic principles and prophetic wisdom to strengthen warrior ethos among troops. The position of spiritual leaders and advisors in the Nigerian Army cannot be overstressed, given the enormous challenges of uplifting the morale of troops and equipping them with the required tools that would enhance the spiritual virtues of officers, soldiers, and their families.
This reinforces the need for us all to be better prepared with new ideas to effectively analyze information in support of combat troops, a role in which Imam play a crucial part. By providing moral guidance, emotional support, and fostering resilience,
the Directorate of Islamic Affairs, in conjunction with Nigerian Army School of Islamic Affairs, have been up and doing in this effort, in line with world best practices, to have a well-informed, highly intellectual, and decent imam for the army.
The theme for the training is enhancing Nigerian Army personnel effective performance through authentic Islamic teachings and warrior ethos within a joint environment. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
The Nigerian Customs Service Adamawa Taraba Command has intercepted smuggled petroleum motor spirit PMS worth more than 71 million naira in the border areas. The success was as a result of the intensified effort by the command to rid the country of smuggling and other unwholesome activities. Rayanu Bala reports.
The enforcement unit of the Nigeria Customs Service Adamawa Taraba Command between August and September this year has been able to seize 1,115 of 25-liter and 26 drums of 220 liters of PMS across the border areas between Nigeria and Cameroon Republic. Other contraband items seized by the command during the months under review include over 200 bags of parboiled rice, second-hand clothing, as well as 3 vehicles used for conveying the items.
We will not relent in this fight against illegal trade until we bring smuggling activities to ground zero in Adamawa and Taraba states. We are working towards a safe Nigeria where smuggling activities will be seen and identified as a devil that everybody would not like to associate with.
The command charged its officers to remain resolute in the task of addressing the menace of smuggling and other acts detrimental to the economy and security of the country. In Yola, Rayanu Bala, NTA News.
Time now for a breather. More stories ahead.
My administration took over leadership of our country 16 months ago at a critical juncture. The economy faced many headwinds and our physical security highly impaired. We found ourselves at a distant crossroad where we must choose between two paths: reform for progress and prosperity, or carry on the business as usual and collapse. We decided to reform our political economy and defense architecture.
Strengthening the electoral process in Nigeria was the focus of the second Ario Dare Atoye Memorial Election Reform Series. Dennis Adegunloye reports that the event organized by the Abuja School of Social and Political Thoughts held in Abuja.
In commemoration of the passing of Ario Dare Atoye, who was a passionate activist for electoral reforms, this convergence of think tanks and experts are here to honor his legacy by fleshing out the contending issues surrounding the electoral process in Nigeria and forging the way forward. This second edition in the series is with the theme Presentation of a National Action Plan for Electoral Reform. At the commencement of the interactions, there was a special tribute to late Ario Dare Atoye, who it is agreed left his mark in striving to bring to the fore the lapses in Nigeria's electoral processes.
When the electronic transmission was rejected at the Senate, then I said that they would never sign this. So we were cynical. But he believed that, he said, Doc, we need to keep working. They started working, they went to talk to the legislators, talk to everybody, and finally it got passed. The Abuja School, we want to start a conversation around basic, far-reaching reforms that we must undertake.
All of us here are writing our history. His time is gone. We are living our lives. How are you living your own life today, for tomorrow? Because Nigeria will go, Nigeria will stay. All of us will come and pass. We are passengers. He has lived his life.
You have to follow the due processes and follow the policy frameworks that they have given unto themselves to ensure that they are truly and genuinely following those procedures.
The National Action Plan is expected to be presented to key stakeholders with a view to successfully implementing recommendations and strengthening the electoral process. Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
Ogun State government has suspended a teacher alleged to have beaten and punished one Monday Arijo and SS2 students of Obada Grammar School, Obada Idiemi, which reportedly led to his demise. A statement by the Ogun State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbagu, says the incident, which occurred on Friday, 25th of October 2024, also led to the immediate arrest of the teacher as the principal of the school, Tamrat Onaolakpo, was queried for allowing corporal punishment on the student against the establishment rules and regulations in the state. He said that the condolence letter has been written to the family of the bereaved, commiserating with them for the demise of the deceased and promising to get justice for the family. The statement described the late learner as an exceptional student who will be missed by his colleagues, the school, and the state at large. Ogun State government prayed to God to give the family the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss and for the repose of the departed. A former vice president of Zone B and current treasurer of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Dele Atumbi, has flagged off his presidential campaign with a message of rejuvenation. So the ceremony, which was held in Abuja, promised not to compromise the interests of the union but protect and cater for the welfare of the members. Here's the report.
Echoes of rejuvenation and a promise of delivering a transformational rather than transactional leadership came to the fore in Abuja. The quest to activate full constitutional powers of the NUJ with honor and integrity, to make NUJ a voice in policy and governance, resonated as the NUJ presidential candidate Dele Atumbi, a lawyer by profession, reeled out a roadmap to a rejuvenated union before fellow comrades at the NUJ Secretariat in Abuja.
We have a vision and we have a mission. A vision to develop the NUJ, a mission to be accomplished in the interest of all of us. When I'm voted for as president of NUJ by the grace of God and by your popular vote, there are series of issues that we will do. The first thing has to do with your welfare. We will not for anything compromise the welfare of journalists in this country.
Part of the roadmap to a rejuvenated union, if elected, the presidential candidate said will include training of journalists, premium to infrastructural development at the National Secretariat, set up mechanism for increased revenue, empower NAWAJ to enjoy its freedom, given the right nomenclature of a national president.
In all the capacities I've had the opportunity to serve, I serve with all in all. I provided leadership.
I invite you all to join this prayer to deliver the message of the rejuvenation project across our colleagues.
It's not expected of us as a union to extend to him that which he has given us years before now.
We are honest, transparent, accountable, competent, and we are going to perform.
We must all commit to work hard to ensure we up back to the stage we all deserve of.
Dele Atumbi's nationwide NUJ presidential campaign is expected to be rounded off in Owerri. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu congratulates Olori Onikekpo Olufumike Akonde as she joyfully marks her 80th birthday on the 29th of October. A true pioneer, Akonde holds the honor of being Nigeria's first female Minister of Industry and second female President of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. In celebrating her, President Tinubu, in a release by his Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, highlights Olori Akonde's trailblazing record and her contribution to Nigeria's public and private sectors. Affectionately known as Nike, she is revered as only as an exceptional leader, but also the Iyalode of Ibadan land, and a devoted wife to Oba Adebayo Akonde, the Akarun of the president expressed deep gratitude to Nike Akonde for her unwavering commitment to mentoring and uplifting others, asserting she's a role model to countless women across Nigeria. He honors the Iyalode of Ibadan land as a symbol of beauty, diligence, courage, affection, and kindness. President Tinubu also notes her exemplary role as a supportive wife to a respected traditional ruler, as a mother whose children have achieved great success. The president praised God Almighty to bless Nike Akonde with continued health and longevity, allowing her to share her inspiring life story and encourage others to embrace optimism and resilience. Now let's talk sports.
Nigeria's Flying Eagles came from a goal down to defeat Niger Republic in the semi-finals of the WAFA Zone B tournament in Togo on Sunday. The win means the Flying Eagles have qualified for the 2025 Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. The Aliyu Suberu-led team will now take on rivals Ghana in the final on Wednesday. To get to the final, Ghana defeated Cote d'Ivoire 2-1 in the first semi-finals, also played on Sunday. The Flying Eagles would hope to defend their WAFA Zone B title, which they won in 2022 under Laden Bosso.
Avec la passe parfaite pour chercher son partenaire de l'autre côté. Attention, la frappe. Et voilà!
In Formula One, Lando Norris caught Max Verstappen's lead to 47 points and labelled his rival dangerous as the championship battle reached boiling point at the Mexico City Grand Prix. Verstappen was given 2 10-second penalties for his driving against Norris for 2 incidents in the same lap, but still managed to finish 6th. Norris took second place, catching and passing Ferrari's Charles Leclerc for second with 9 laps to go, while Ferrari's Carlos Sainz took a dominant victory.
The sight and the sound of this crowd acclaiming their winner. Carlos Sainz comes out of the final corner for the final time. Carlos Sainz wins the Mexico City Grand Prix. A fine way to take a 4th career victory.
That concludes the news at 3 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Comfort Amodu.